It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Do you honestly mean it?
Yes, I mean it. I don't say things that I don't mean. You and this baby are the most important things in the world to me.
I rest my case. What was that you were saying about being the most important person in the world to Louise?
Oh, stop it.
Well, looks like you've been replaced.
Oh, Louise. Gosh, that's all I needed to know. I was so afraid to go through this pregnancy alone.
Well, you'll never be alone.
Say it again. I need to hear you say it.
Hey, many times as you like. You and this baby are the two most important people in the world to me.
Look who's here. Come on in, Fancy. Louise and I were just talking about our baby. Our baby. Oh my God, I love saying that. He was just telling me how much our baby means to him.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you were eavesdropping.
Pretty. Sweetheart, how are you doing?
Oh, much better now that I've spoken to Louise. He's convinced me and told me how much our baby means to him and how much I mean to him as well. I'm so relieved. I can't believe I was going to terminate my pregnancy. My imaginary pregnancy.
Well, thank God that you did.
Yeah. God, I feel so bad for those poor girls who have to face being a parent alone. It's such a scary time that decision actually makes sense, but not for me. Because I have this great man that I know that I can lean on and will support me, and our baby is going to have two loving parents. Forgive me, Louise. I'm not used to being, cared about or have somebody worry about me. I've never felt so loved. You do love me, don't you?
Yes, you and the baby are very important to me.
The most important things to you?
Yes?
Excuse me.
We'll be right back. Fancy, what you just overheard, it has
Save
nothing...
it, Louise. I heard everything I needed to hear. The man I love, the man I have forgiven over and over, just told my sister she's the most important person in his life.
You don't
What more is there to hear? No, I'm not stupid, Louise. It's obvious. Pretty is more important to you than I am.
Oh, please, you know that that's not true.
And why should I know that? I just heard you. You told Pretty she's number one. Oh, and then there's the baby. So where does that leave me?
Fancy,
Bringing up the rear?
Fancy! She was about to terminate the baby. An abortion? Because she thinks that I don't care about this child, which isn't true. I do care. So I had to say something to stop her.
Not that.
Fancy, it is our child. My own flesh and blood. So I needed to tell her something so she would keep the baby.
You didn't have to tell her she was the most important person in your life, Louise.
Oh.
That's what you just told me. And you told me Pretty and the baby would never come between us.
They won't.
You don't get it, do you? Pretty is coming between us already. That's what her plan has been all along. She is using this baby and the threat of having an abortion to break us up.
I understand why you are so upset right now, and I am sorry if I have offended you, but come on. Pretty is pregnant, she is single, and she is scared. And she just needs some reassurance that she's not going to be stuck alone. So that's all I was doing, was letting her know that I will be there for her in the long haul. And she needs to know how much I care about this baby.
It is so much more than that.
All right, whatever personal problems each one of us has, let's not forget there is a baby involved. And he or she comes first. Okay? Pretty is in a fragile state. So if I need to tell her that she's the most important person in the world, so what? I don't need her freaking out and starting to talk about how she's going to terminate this baby again. And once she is secure, things will go back to normal.
You really don't get it, do you? This is just the beginning, Luis. She won't stop. Pretty will keep coming up with one thing after another until she finally tears us apart. You don't know Pretty the way I do. Even before the accident, she never knew how to stop. And then once her face was disfigured, well, it was as if she decided normal rules of behavior didn't apply to her anymore.
You're awfully hard on her.
Because I know her, Luis. But ever since Grandfather locked you two in that basement, she's decided you belong to her. And she'll keep dreaming up one thing after another until she's finally torn us apart.
Well, that's not going to happen, so you don't need to worry about that.
Then just listen to me, okay? Please don't underestimate her. She's not as vulnerable as you think.
Okay. Look, I don't want to talk about Pretty anymore, okay? I love you. Now, believe me when I say to you that you are the most important person in the world to me.
Well, that would be a lot easier to believe if I hadn't heard you say exactly the same thing to Pretty just now.
Believe it. I love you. And nothing is ever going to come between us, okay? Not Pretty. I don't love her. I just had to say what I said to her to protect my baby. Okay? I love you. Don't worry. Nothing is ever going to come between us.
I hope you're right.
I'm right. Trust me, not Pretty, or the baby, or anything. I love you, Fancy Crane.
That's what you think. It's time to turn up the heat a little more.